What is the ideal life for you? Anyone is free, no, to share your opinion about the question. There's no wrong and right actions with that answers to that question because that is subjective. That belongs to you. What is an ideal life for you? Sa may uh, nindot, no? Ano, no? When you talk about ideal life, it is you dream, no? Imong pangandoy nga kinabuhi.
Atoy, sir.
Atoy, go on.
Wellness.
For me, sir, kuaning para to serve my own purpose diri sa kalibutan, sir, I would like to kuan aning uh, help others the way I want it to, sir.
All right. So
Nang,
helping others can fulfill your existence, kumbaga.
yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for that, Ato. Yeah, that's very close, no, to Socrates. But we will accept that and respect that it is your perspective. Velez.
My ideal life, sir, is nang I am mentally stable and physically stable as well. Then I can do whatever I want. Bisan no walay ka ng money, sir, at least I am happy. Like that,
Mm-hmm.
sir.
Yes, that's very cool. That's very close also to Socrates. When we talk about you can do whatever you want, does that belong to things that are bad? No, outside the moral sphere. Apil ba niya na ang imong buhaton? Velez? You said earlier nga,
Kasi to, sir, no?
ningon ka ganina that you can do whatever you want. Kanang buhaton ba nimo bisagon sa imong ganahan, apil ba niya na kanang mga dili maayo?
Dili, sir.
Okay.
Anang mga gusto na kong buhaton.
All right. So, thank you for that, Velez. Okay. So, we'll start with Socrates as the father of ancient philosophy. And he has something to say as well when it comes to morality class. So, he existed around 469 to 399 BC. So, this is around 70 years old siya, no, namatay. So, he believed that it is ignorance who make people immoral or immoral. So he believed that it is ignorance. Why do you say, what is your opinion? Why ignorance is a hindrance to become a better person or a moral person?
Yovido, sir.
Yovido?
Because when you're ignorant of the things that must be done, then when you do things on your own, you won't you won't know if you are doing the wrong thing or the right thing or the wrong one.
All right. Thank you for that, Yovido. Yeah, that is correct. No, that's on point. All right. So Socrates' class is known for his Socratic method. What is Socratic method? Right, if no one knows what is Socratic method, this is the
Tamparong, sir.
process. Tamparong, go on.
Kung sir, make sure niya sir na dili siya dili ignorante siya sa mga meaning sir. And kung to sir na mention to sir na wrong siya pero at least dili siya ignorante sir. Mura gi niya gi accept niya nga wrong pero dili siya ignorant sir at the same time sir.
All right, thank you for that, Tamparong, no? So actually, you through Socratic method, you are trying to say that at least you're aware.
Yes sir.
Although bahalag sayop ka, at least you acknowledge that you're wrong.
Lareno, sir.
All right, Loreno.
Socratic method is a method of asking bunch of questions related to a topic so that you will be able to expose your shortcoming in that topic, sir.
Right. So that's how we define Socratic method. Yeah, that's how Socrates would view his method, no? A process of questioning designed to expose ignorance and clear the way for knowledge. Why do course, as you said, as your classmate said earlier, that we have to expose the ignorance because it can hinder for us to become better or moral persons. No? So, if ignorance is exposed, no, kung na-expose ng ignorance, then we will have clear way to knowledge, and we will be, if you already have the knowledge, excuse me, if you already have the knowledge, you have the option, no, either to do it or not to do it, although you're aware that it's wrong, no. So the obligation or the guilt will be shouldered by you. You will be the one accountable for that because you know nga sayop na imupig yung buhaton. So Socrates class admits, no, that he is ignorant. He admits, no, nga he is ignorant, but became the wisest in his time. Siya mo kina wise, no? Kina not bright, but when you say wise, it is deeper than being bright, no? He's the wisest of his time. For he believed that he is like an empty cup, still open to receive the waters of knowledge. So iyang gitreat iyang self as as an empty cup nga nana siya sulod pero still nagyapoy siya spacious, no, nga mudawat sa tubig sa kahibalo. Alright, so that is why in his time he is fond of cross-examination. No, iyang gina cross-examine those nga katong nagpakaron ingnon who claim themselves to be wise. No, they claim themselves to be wise in order to unveil their ignorance. So kaning ihang pagkuan day class pag-admit is it is out of humility and also out of possibility that he can still learn more, no? And that is why he is also known for saying that the more he knows or the more he know that he knows nothing. So murag siya pud ang ni pioneer ana nga kuan nga aphorism. So he cross-examined those who claim to be wise, especially those in power, those influential and rich people who believe that they are already have enough knowledge, no, that they boast that they are wise. So he out of humility and out of the possibility that he can still learn for more. So those who claim to be wise, he cross-examined them in order to expose or unveil their ignorance. So later he knew pagkahibalo niya nga wala gyud ay puy nahibalaan ning tawhana, although um nasayod siya nag-claim siya nga wise siya. He said that their cups are too filled with pride, conceit, tas kay believe sa kaugalingon and beliefs, no, which they cling on to give them sense of identity and security. No, mausahay man god if pagawas gyud ta nga bugo pud ta kayo nang kuan gyud ta nothing pud ta kayo, mura pug nothing pud tas panglantaw sa uban. That's why usahay magpakita gilas na lang gud pud ta bisag wala ta in order for the other people will see as something that is worth of respect, no, kay kung wala pud ta dili pud ta respetohon. So in this sense murag ingon ani ning point ni Socrates. No? Socrates is famed for the quote or saying that unexamined life or the unexamined life is not worth living. What is the point of Socrates when he said this line? The unexamined life is not worth living. How do you exactly examine your life to check if you are living a life that is worth living or not? Anyone? How can you probably examine your life? Because if it is unexamined, then that life is useless, not worth living. No? Dagan kay ni mga not worth living. Alferez?
The unexamined life is not worth living, sir, kay you need to identify your purpose in life, sir. So, kung makabalo na kasi mong purpose sa life, imo siya ma-fulfill. Na mao nang worth living na siya, sir.
Yes, you have the point in there, Alferez. No? That's one that you have to know your purpose because if you know your purpose, then you know your direction. If you have the direction, then you're sticking yourself to that direction. Probably you are following a path that is goal oriented. If it is goal oriented and that goal is good, then you are traversing a path of goodness or a good goal, no? Kung you don't know your goal, you don't know your purpose, then you are happy go lucky and go wherever the wind blows or wherever the water of the river goes, then your life must be in need of examination. Because if there's no need of examination, then you are like a rivutorto, no? There is like a tuyok-tuyok, like distorted direction. Patuyok-tuyok, no? Ingana, magid po noon ang reality sa life, but still, if ingana ang reality sa life, stick lang yapon ta sa atong goal, mabalik naman dito sa atong path. But if we have no sense of direction, then we are lost, no? So that life is need of examination. So let's proceed. He believed that an ideal life is a happy life. Muna yung ingon, what kind of happiness or happy life does Socrates mean? Unsa man sa inyo paglantaw, unsa man kind of happy life? There are so many happiness or version of happiness. Unsa man yung klase nga happiness ng iyang gimin?
Kamparong, sir.
Tamparong?
In my opinion, sir, an example of an ideal life, sir, somewhat ma-achieve niyo yung mga goals, sir, and find pleasure on little things, sir, and to those little things, sir, nga makahuna na ka nga worth it kay sir. Yan.
Alright.
And about
Mhm.
mo itong makakuha nga ideal sa life, sir.
Okay, thank you for that, Tamparong. That is also on point. Last,
Abiera,
about
sir.
that question, Abiera, go on.
Sir, for me, sir, I think when for Socrates' ideal life, sir, is I think when he has attained his vision of the soul of beauty, sir. This means that dili na siya mabothered sa mga material things like charm sa persons, monies, goods, or other things na external factors, sir. Ma-appreciate na niya unsay naara niya or kanang sa natures na gihatag, sir.
Mhm. Yes, that is correct, Abiera. Socrates did really said that. So he mean that achieving or attaining the state of ano no state of tranquility, where our soul should reside, no, in order for have peace of mind and peace of heart. But let's proceed to this discussion. So, a happy life, or a happiness for Socrates. No, mababot na tayo dito sa kuwanan niya sa true happiness na ni Socrates about that achieving the beauty of soul. So happiness of Socrates is a directive, no? Doon ay direction rather than additive. So it depends not on external goods. Tamparong said this as well, but how we use these external goods. No, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of things and properties, but if you use that in bad ways, for manipulating people, pag gusto na kagsugo sa mga tao bayaran na nimo, either to do to kill or whatever is that, then this kind of usage, no, we do not happiness is do not depends on external goods. It doesn't mean that you have lots of money, that you are rich, that you have uh, 20 hectares of hacienda, you are already happy. No, you can be happy in small things as well. So it depends not on external goods, but how we use, no, these external goods, whether wisely or unwisely. So if we use external goods for not just for our own good, for the good of others, then you are using it wisely. But if you're using it for your own privilege or advantage or your interest, then that is very unwisely. So happiness for Aristotle as well is depends, no? Depends on the education by desire. So education of desire, whereby the soul, no mo na ni siya nga part Abiera, learns how to harmonize its desires, no? Imong i-harmonize imong desires, no? Redirecting its gaze away from physical pleasures to the love of knowledge and virtue. So, kaning kuan class, kaning contribution ni Socrates towards happiness is kinda sublime, no? No, ning mga words, no? Sublime, it's transcendental, it is beyond, no? It's metaphysical, kumbaga beyond physical things. Imagine ninyo kung makakita mo mga tao bitaw ng mga genius, we automatically think of them or judge them as nerd, as weirdo, like that. But we have no idea that they are very happy with the way they deal with things. No, magsigirag tuon, magsigirag basa, magsigirag experiment, do calculations. They learn they are experiencing pleasure nga dili na to masabtan by but in our end kanang modula tag basket, modula tag sports, whatever ML or Dota, like that, we also attain a different kind of pleasure. Ang kay Aristotle, kay Socrates is different. A pleasure from knowledge and virtue. So, mo ni siya, namo na nga usahay, maka-question ta nga naman ning mga dili mo minyo bitaw like mga pari. Why do they chose that path where they cannot experience the pleasure of those in marriage, in married life, no? Because there is a different kind of happiness, bisan walay erotic or walay sexual intimacy, no, dira ang ilang intimacy is a different level of intimacy, which is intimacy of the soul, the relationship of the soul and God, no, depende doon na po yung mga pari nga walay puangod, no. So kato ng mga pari nga tinuod silang relasyon sa Dios, no? I'm referring to that and to those pastors, to those ministers of God that who are true to their who are true to their kuan, to their mandate, to their oath, no, sa ilang ipanumpaan nga serbisyo. So that is a different kind of pleasure. That's why we cannot judge anybody following different kind of path sa kinabuhi. So Socrates' morality or ethics view is kind of very relevant, no, sa tuwa. So true happiness is gaining. Mo na siya pinaka-importante class. It is gaining rational control over your desires, your kanang ato bitang sexual urges, ato ang pagkuan sa pagkaon, ang sobra-sobra na okay ra nang mukaon na according to enough, no? Harmonizing the different parts of your souls. It's more on the soul. Kanang kay Socrates. Even though during this time of Socrates, they don't have belief on one God, no? They have many deities. They believe on many gods, and they do not believe on the eternal soul. I guess their doctrine back then was more on if you are living a good life, then your soul will be not certain. But if you will die, I guess you will be only like a ghost, no, a lost ghost wandering wherever. Murag wala na kay sense of direction pag abot sa pikas kalibutan. Unlike the if I will compare to the barbarians. Sa mga barbarians, their concept of God is different. They show their loyalty to their God and their worship to God by being brave, by being reckless, by being aggressive, killing enemies, no? Patyo nila tanan ng enemies, and they are not afraid of death. Kung mamatay sila sa away, they welcome it wholeheartedly because they believe that they will go to their God, no? Makikinom sila sa ilang Diyos, mga yung mga barbarians back then. Muna siya nga isog kayo sila, wala na sila gikahadlukan. So, kaning kay Socrates is very prophetic because in this time, siya rin dunay ing aning originality that gaining rational control over your desires, no, imong disiplinahon imong lawas sa mga butang, no, nga mga kalibutanon. So that you will not be enslaved by the riches of the world, no? Kay kung ma-deceive na ka, kung magsige na po kuan kawili sa sex, ang tendency is mamiserable imong life later on. You will be hated by your family or whatsoever. Or dito po ka sa bisyo sa sugal, lahi po siya kung masobrahan na po ka sa sugal, then it would affect not just you will not only be losing yourself but also the people around you and the other things, the other vices. So doing so, muna ni siya ang pinaka-state no nga gusto ma-achieve ni Socrates. Doing so kaning tanan nga nadiri sa unahan would produce a divine-like state of yourself, of inner tranquility, and the external could not affect. Nang dili nakadali-dali mabother sa mga problema lang. Kay kita karon ang tendency nato if do natin problema ka-disturb nato, magsige tag worry, magsige ta og um, either reklamo or mangita gyud paagi bisag wala na. So it disturbs us and kumbaga it rob us our happiness. Yung banday you will be happy, you spend your time worrying and looking for for something that it is not possible, no? So the class, the ending of our Socrates is that he was sentenced to death. He was charged of accusation, or he was charged of corrupting the mind of the youth. No? Muna siya, he was put in trial due to the accusations of corrupting the mind of the youth and impiety. So imagine, doon na sila gituuhan yung mga Diyos-Diyos. But Socrates gave another way of life, a way of life to a virtuous life, to a life where you control your desires, and then by then you can be like God, no? You can be like God. Ang ipasabot ani is you will not be the same with God, but you will achieve this state nga kabantay bitaw mo ng mga kung namin ma-observe ng mga tigulang na although they are poor but they're happy, no? Nga mga inunana nga mga klase sa kinabuhi, and then they are so good people nga wala gyud ka-question sa ilang pagtagad sa mga tao. You will tend to idolize them because most of the out of this you know kaning hostile world nga halos tanan kuan mga selfish na dagiti gyapon yung mga tao nga maayo, no? Because they spend their time and they tend to reflect on their lives, examine their life, how to treat other people and themselves, no? So he thought the accusation of corrupting the mind of the youth is that he taught people no to question authority. Kay back then, ang ilang kuan class, ang ilahang gobyerno is authoritative and orthodoxy. May authoritative, meron ni siya mga hari, no? Like Roman Empire, and orthodoxy. Dili nimo mo question ang judgment sa mga leaders. So he started to taught people to question the assumptions and views of the leaders. No, kay not at all times they are correct and right. So we have to question, especially those assumptions and views that are not supported, no? Kanang dili bitaw in line to what is objective, true and right, no? So true to his word, no? Kay kung dili po niya tubangon ang although he was sentenced to death no unjustly, kay very unjustly magid kaayo ang iyang class, iyang judgment, ang iyang knowing that it was politically motivated kay Socrates is very very fierce and dili po siya madlokon. He is not fearful to those in power. Napatyon ba siya or dili? He speaks through his heart. He speaks the truth. No, he questions those in authority. He questions those methods that are speculative, katong mga dili bitaw supported. Kay kung dili po niya kaya pong biyaan ng kamatayon, like he has a lot of students, rich and poor. So dunay willing mo bribe sa mga judges. But he did not, no? He did not accept that offer. Bribe ang mga judges with money because he is not true to his teachings if he will bribe, because bribing is an immoral act, no? Let the judges release their verdict, and I will face it with bravery, no, with courage. So he drank the poison and he died. So until his death, no, he was true to his teachings about living a life away from immorality. All right, let's proceed to virtue ethics. This is the first class. This is the first moral theory, which is pioneered by Aristotle. Who can give me an opinion or insight what is virtue ethics all about? What do you think virtue ethics is all about? It coming from its very, I don't know, fundamental term, virtue. It is very closely related to Kuan class to Socrates. Socrates is the mentor of Aristotle. No. Socrates is the father of ancient philosophy. Young student is a Plato who wrote the Apology. Kanang apology man ay defense ni Socrates to the case filed against him. Then kani si Aristotle is the student of Plato. No? So, virtue ethics. Siya mo ni Kuan ani class. So, unlike with Kuan, there are actually two theories class, no? Main theories of morality or moral theories. The first one is consequentialist theory nga mag-decide ta sa giinsaktuhon sa buhat or kasayop sa buhat binaagi sa resulta, while ang ikaduha is deontological theories nga mag-focus ta sa pag-judge sa action kay insaktuhon o kasaypunon sa action pinaagi sa pamaagi sa giyon sa pagbuhat o pag-enact sa buhat. Well, virtue ethics is kind of different. Anyway, utilitarianism and the consequentialist theories and deontological, it will follow later on. We'll start with virtue ethics, given that it is coming from the perspective of Aristotle, coming from the ancient time. No? Virtue ethics class focuses on the development of virtuous character. Are you following me, class? Right? You're not just doing anything out there.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So,
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
all right, that's good. Thank you. So the focus of virtue ethics is on the of forming yourself to become virtuous. No, it is about formation. We are all undergoing a formation. So it's up to you if you're gonna submit yourself to formation. That is forming yourself or making yourself a better person. So muna siyang pinakakuan kuan ni Aristotle. So we have to keep an eye on details of our actions, especially if masayop ta, pawalaan rin nato. We are being, I do not know what the term for that, but it seems like to avoid no anything. That's also something that needs to to be addressed. So the character is the key to the moral life for Aristotle. For it is from virtuous character that moral conduct and values naturally arise. No, kung moral na imong life, if you are following a moral life which is virtuous in nature, then your actions automatic na, no? Kung nagsige na kagsunod ug maayo bitong binuhatan, if you are also brought up by your parents in a good manner, ang imong mga judgments ug ang imong mga opinions mag automatic na nga mo arrest because it was kumbaga it was already implanted to your heart how to react on things na dili kay magkalit ra kag pamutang ina or mag magkuan ka magmura ka no or in Tagalog kuan na so maong kung founded na ka into a virtuous character and still ongoing ang imong pag-form sa imong self to become a better person dili naka that's why you cannot understand why people would directly submit to the ano no to the desire of their heart no or their anger mo submit din silang kasuko mo submit din sa ilahang kalagot or like that so virtues are ingrained no? Ingrained dispositions to act by standards of excellence so let me put that here. So, ingrained dispositions to act by standards of excellence. So, having the proper virtues leads as a matter of course to right actions properly motivated. Ang imuhang actions dapat duna po'y saktong motivation. Imong motive, imong intentions, dili lang kay magbuhat ra ka og sakto, it should be also properly motivated. No? So, in virtue ethics class, someone determines right action not by consulting rules, no? Dili kay nagbase ta sa rules, sa moral rules, but by asking what a truly virtuous person would do or whether an action would accord with relevant virtues. So kumbaga, ang atong pag-judge sa actions class dili pinaagi sa rules, kundi pinaagi kung unsa may buhaton possibly sa usa ka maayong tawo, no? Let's say maayo na gyud siyang tawo nga walay bahid sa kuan, sa corruption, walay bahid sa kuan. How would the virtuous person would do in a certain scenario? No, mahatag ko example ana later on. So, kani siyang virtue ethics class, dili ni siya ancient idea. Nahimo na po ni siyang contemporary idea, tungod kay daghan namang contemporary philosophers ang ni-adapt ni ini, revising it or making versions of it into contemporary times. So, ang ilang basihan na, as I said earlier, is Aristotle, who existed around 384 to 322 BC. So, around 62 years old siya, no? Namatay. Is the primary inspiration for the virtue ethics. So, for him, let me got that here. For him, the highest goal of humanity is the good life or human flourishing. The human flourishing is you are having a progress, no, a moral progress. Dili kay nag-static lang ka nga kuan napundo lang ka kung unsa ka, no. Dawata ko ninyo kay mao magyud ko ingon ani magyud ko. Mangingon ana ang kinaiya kun dili na mabago. Do you believe in that, class? Na dili na daw mabago ang kinaiya? I guess kinaiya in our term, kinaiya, how ang i-differentiate ha? Kinaiya in English that is nature. While ang atong term sa kinaiya, kining batasan nato, it's not really nature in kuan ang iyang equivalent ana in English, but behavior. Batasan. More on the attitude ka side, not nature. Ang kinaiyahan mo'y nature. Kaya may nga nature, di na ginamabago. Kaning kinaiya, we're talking about batasan or attitude. Do you think, class, that the attitude or the behavior of anybody cannot be changed?
Case-to-case basis, sir.
Why is that, Laria?
Because sometimes, sir, people says that old habits die hard and you cannot change a thing overnight.
Mm. Yes. Yeah, that's a good point, Laria. Thank you for that. So, old habits cannot die. Actually, Aristotle has an answer to that also, no? Let us equate that to vices. Kanang bisyo bitaw. Let's say kanang mga drug addicts. Do you believe that drug addicts cannot change? Kana siya nga question. Kay, by the time they started using drugs, it introduced them to a different level of pleasure, no? A pleasure they did not experience before. Wala gid nila may sinati before.
Addiction lagi, sir.
Ha?
Constant addiction.
Can you speak louder?
Ayun, sir. When it comes to kaning mga drugs, sir, sila, people who take drugs, sir, occasionally will become addicts, sir. And for their behavior, sir, it can be chill or it can be violent, sir.
Yes, that's right. Tamparong. So as I may relate, class, no, to a vice, no, of drug addiction. So they started with using shabu probably, and then they experienced a different kind level of pleasure, no, that they wanted to do it over and over again. So I have listened to some stories of drug addicts who have changed the course of their life, but it was a very uneasy way, no? It's a very hard way. If you already know the rehabilitation center in Amlan, which is pioneered by voluntary, or non-governmental organization or NGO, for them it was really not easy because by the time they experienced remorse and they wanted to change, it is temporary. By later on, mangita na po sila, di na po nila mapugan nilang self, mangita na po, magamit na po so. No? There's so many stories like that, class. Not until that they gained the right realization in life. Not until they receive the understanding from the family, no nga nagtuo belief from the family nga gatuo gyapon nga kaya pa niya mo bago. Because by the time that family will neglect a member due to that due to that experience or due to that incident, mawala lang kita siya eventually. Not because of the good heart of other people. Mawala. Like Berto, you remember katong nabago na? Katong nabuang na gani siya. Tungod sa lahi po to niya nga kuano, bisyo po to ya nga sa Cebu gani nga una nagugma siya, then dalahig siya sa droga, and then teacher siya taon na, then droga, then moto, nabuang siya. But due to the to the kindness of others, he was rehabilitated, and mo na siya ron. Nindot na iyang status kinabuhi. So, mo na siya clash that I really believe that drug addicts have their own stories behind. Stories that we can cry if we will listen. No? That how desperate they are to change, but they cannot. Dili nila makayang biyaan. Old habits is like that as well. But the times that these bad habits that we've implanted or ingrained to ourselves, lisod po kayo na sa biyaan until the time, because drug addiction is also a habit, no? Sex addiction is also a habit. No? Kani mga bisyo kaning sugal dali sa habit, no? Kung dili ka wala enough realization and there's no enough belief from the family nga kaya nimo bago, it's very hard to make a change for your life. So muna siya nga another way of escaping to reality. That's right na parang no. So by then, man sakto na gyud na hinog na kay realization sa time they will start to make a change for their lives. Man siya nga old habit, kani nga addiction is also a habit. Mo na siya in reverse class for Aristotle. Dili ang vices may atong habit, but the virtues. Kasi opposite man vices and virtues are the opposite in direction. Vices are the evil ones, virtues are the good ones. So, kaning virtues atong i-habit in order for us to become a virtuous person. Okay, kung kaning vices may atong i-habit, then dili po nato na siya, lisod po kayo na sa kwaon sa atong kinabuhi. Lisod kayo mong bago, lisod kayo walaon. O na siya old habits cannot die or hard to die. So, on the other hand, mo na siya nga mabago gud siya mabago gud siya matasan if it's practiced daily, no? Madunay gyud changes at least lang 0.1 inch lang every day. Collect lang na siya after a year, may mo na siya 1 meter, no? Mga ana ba? Dili nato i-underestimate ang mga ginagmay natong mga habit because it can make a big change later on. So, developing developing virtues is the way to achieve such a rich and satisfying life. Kamantay po mo ng mga genius, mga mga ngilingil po kayo mga utok. That is because they make studying as a habit. No? At first, they are not really that kind of genius, but through that habit, who they put as part of their life already, an integral part of their life already. That's why they achieve that. Muna naabot nila na siya nga kinabuhi. Like kung fu. Kada kung practice po kag kung fu, if may mo na nimong habit, then you will become expert of martial arts. Or I do not know, similar ba ng kung fu martial arts, but let's just say it's martial arts. But imo na po ng biyaan, mutaya na po ng memories imong muscles, then mopalaya na po ka later on. No? So let's proceed. A guide to a moral life class, one basic guide to a moral life, which we need to remember, is to practice practice the golden mean or moderation. Mo ni atong initial guide on saan mahimong virtuous nga tao. Choose the mean, not the deficit or the excess, not the vice and not the so much. Okay ra pud mag so much, pero in cases nga maayo gud siya, like kanang mo what do you call that, mo I do not know, but for God kanang excess mo nga ginakuan sa Ginoo, either di ba kabantay mo yang isukang lukewarm or kanang lang warm. So ang dawaton sa Ginoo either cold or hot, so either or. But for virtuous character is practiced by moderation. Kung mukhaon ta kanang igo-igora, dili kulang kay pwedeng mapasmuta or pwedeng malnourished ta or kuan or sobra-sobra, no? May mo pug kang the other way around, no? So the other one is to aspire for moral excellence to become better persons. We have to aspire for moral excellence as well. Kaning pa-level up, no, sa atong kuan, sa atong um, mind. Alright, we can also become virtuous class by reflecting on our lives and those of others, practicing virtuous behavior, or imitating moral exemplars like Gandhi, Buddha, Jesus, and Socrates. No, kung atong imitate ang ilang life, then it will be a guide for us to be kuan, to be a virtuous person. Question, is it enough just to do right for virtuous or for virtue ethics? Mo buhat na kag insakto okay na ba na siya sa virtue ethics? Clash? Mo buhat ra kag insakto nga action, insakto na ba na siya? I guess I already include your kanina about doing the right thing. Anyone?
Parang sir.
Naparong?
Ano sir, in my opinion sir, by doing good things sir, yun na siya sir, i-apply niyo mo siya sa imong kinabuhi sir. Oh na sir, you reflect and apply to your life sir, like the ones that Jesus or Buddha or Gandhi did sir, like being good to others sir. Kaya sir,
Alright.
i-apply niyo siya every day.
Right, so that is making it a habit. So thank you for that, Parang. So that will be part of making it a habit, no? In order for you to be to be excellent, you need to do it over and over again. No, kanang may mo kang bright, you have to study over and over again without tiredness. But by but by enjoying the pleasure of studying like that. So doing the right thing, class, is not enough, no? We must do the right. We must do right for the right motivating reasons. Dapat dili ta magbuhat kay just insakto ra. Dapat magbuhat ta with right motive and intentions, as I said earlier. So let's say, for example, helping a friend, no, or saving a friend from drowning, no. Kanang imong gi-save imong friend nga dol na malumos, you should do so out of genuine feelings of compassion or kindness. Not because of publicity or pleasing the public. No? Kanang motabang probitaw ta sa mga nanginahanglan, not for publicity as well, but for genuine heart that you want to help, no? Kabantay mo ni mga politiko mo ni siya common karon that dili na sila makatabang or dili na ta makatabang without taking selfie or video or a media covering the scene. So mo ni siya pinaka-common karon that our actions is very questionable, especially the motive or the intention about about helping tungod kay doon na may media always kasunod-sunod. Doon na may pictures after helping, no? Dili na mahimo out of sa tago, no? So moral action should be judged by virtue or lack of virtues. Atong i-judge ang action sa insaktuhon sa action kung according to virtue or lack of virtues. Example, abortion class. First scenario, mupa-abort ang buntis na babae tungod kay hadlok siya sa responsibilities, no, kung iyang padayonon iyang pregnancy. Is the woman showing a virtuous action or no in that scenario? What kind of vice or virtue that woman is showing to us? That he wanted to abort the child because she's afraid of the responsibilities. Anyone? What kind of virtue or vice that woman is showing?
Maturity dali, sir.
Could be. So that woman is showing cowardice. Cowardice. Mo nang iyang gipakita ka vice. So ato siyang i-judge unsa iyang gipakita, virtue ba or lack of virtues. So butang na lang natin ng vice, no? Or vice, no? So iyang gipakita that she's afraid of responsibilities, entering into a thing but not prepared, then that's cowardice. The other scenario, if she wants abortion because it would disrupt her vacation, what kind of virtue or vice that woman is showing? Iyang i-abort tungod kay dili siya makapadayon sa iyang bakasyon. What kind of vice or virtue is that, Clash?
Selfishness.
Leovido? Yeah, that's correct. Selfishness and self-centeredness. That woman no longer consider no the welfare of the child in her ano no in her tummy. So that's that's a vice. That's a selfishness. Laing tawo pa biyan ang naa diha sulod sa tiyan. So iyang self rang iyang gi-consider, so that's self-centeredness as well. Alright, so that's how we gonna uh, treat virtue ethics. That's how we gonna use virtue ethics on our advantage, no? That we are already aware of making ourselves to become better persons, no? Gi-introduce na ni siya ni Socrates and then supported by Aristotle. So hopefully, this is not only ano no, will not only apply in our discussion but also in our lives, especially in making decisions, moral decisions, and also with the incoming elections. No, which of these candidates is a virtuous candidates? No, which of these candidates are worth worth of our votes? No, nga molagad who is having a genuine intention and motive of serving the people.